New video shows the frantic moments after a fiery crash earlier this year near Broadmoor. Good evening, I'm Karen Swenson.
And I'm Cherise Gibson. 3 people died and 4 officers, they lost their jobs, but there is a possibility the toll could have been higher if officers had not sprung into action after the crash happened. Danny Monteverde has that story.
A fire grew wildly out of control as New Orleans police officers raced to the Unity One beauty supply and hair salon on March 20th. Seconds earlier, a stolen SUV crashed into the building at Washington and South Broad. It was the end of a quick chase that turned deadly just as fast. 3 people were killed, 2 teens accused of driving the stolen SUV. Also killed, 54-year-old Schwann Herbert, a regular at the beauty parlor. The footage obtained by our partners at the Times-Picayune and New Orleans Advocate shows the chaotic moments after the crash. First responders grab a ladder. The Bodycam footage shows the officers rush to get people, including children, out of a second-floor apartment as the fire grows larger. A little girl screams at one point. Officers shout over one another. Officer Jonathan Broom helps a boy off the ladder.
Is there any more kids in there?
Broom climbs up the ladder. One girl appears to freeze as she climbs down toward the officer.
Who else is inside? Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Jump up, baby. Just jump. Let's go.
While the officers' actions likely meant no one else was hurt or killed, NOPD leaders said the officers violated department policy related to the chase and turning off cameras.
3 lives were lost. 3 lives were lost as a result of a violation of a policy.
Danny Monteverde, Eyewitness News.
Officers Jonathan Broom, Alex Florian, Jeffrey Harrington, and Alex Mickelson were fired because of those violations. But a recent agreement between their attorney and the city lets their record show that they resigned since they did not appeal their firings. The Civil Service Commission recently approved that plan.
Now to